Guys, we're coming to you live on a special Tuesday night edition of Real Talk with Rick Glazer. But before that, we're going to be visiting with Mr. Boxing Source, the incomparable J.R. Bell.
Proudly presents living legend and elite level trainer Ronnie Shields.
Guys, welcome. Happy Tuesday to all of you guys. And we apologize that Coach Ronnie Shields had something personal to deal with. So he's not going to be joining us, but to fill in his spot, well, it's the incomparable J.R. Bell, theboxingsource.net. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, what's going on, Joe, man? I have an announcement. The zone in America wouldn't be the zone in America if it wasn't for
Dude, I thought you were being serious for a second, brother. I'm like, oh no, what's going on? Dude, is that not the dumbest thing you've ever heard in your life? That rivals Teofimo Lopez in delusional, right? In delusion. That is just like what were your thoughts when you heard that when I played that on last night's show, brother?
I was crying laughing when I heard that the first time. I was like, oh my goodness, why did Bill Haney say that? I have no clue why he said that. That was the most ridiculous thing I've heard in boxing this year.
Oh my gosh, dude. Well, look, it's obviously giving Bill Haney the benefit of the doubt and obviously everything that they've accomplished in this business. He's not that stupid, but he thinks his fans are. Or maybe I'm wrong.
He might think he could pull a few fast ones on his audience because that take right there that he made that was just way off base.
Well, I tell you, excuse me, guys. Well, I tell you what. We're gonna revisit some terrible fan takes here in a second, guys. But we've got Rick Glazer coming on at the top of the hour. So we have only 25 minutes to go. So let's start with the latest edition of...
Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for Fact or Fiction.
Woo! I'll tell you what, this is a beauty, man. So I'm going to be reading these to you this time, brother, since you are our special guest. You're going to be Coach Ronnie in this situation. How's that? And it says, Fact or Fiction, Big JR. While vacationing in Mexico, Edgar Berlanga was seen handing out money to fans on the beach, further cementing his fate as Puerto Rico's equivalent to Adrian Broner. Fact or fiction?
Ooh, I would say fiction because he ain't even on Adrian Broner's level, to be honest. He's not.
I knew you were going to say that, dude.
He's not. At least with Adrian Broner was a multi-division champion, or you at least seen with Adrian Broner that he had the overall skills to be, um, you know, at the point where he could be a top 5 level fighter within the division, depending on the division. But with Edgar Berlanga, yeah, you just don't see that with him.
Well, look, I will say this in defense of Adrian Broner, and I think you're absolutely right, and I share your sentiment, my friend, because at 130 and 135, he was a legitimate champ. Now, he wasn't the champ of any one division, but he was a legitimate title holder in both of those, right? You can argue that, well, no, he just had the red title, didn't he? At 47, didn't he?
Yeah, beating
Paulie Malignaggi. Yeah. And at 140, I don't even remember who we beat.
Like, remember, he skipped like 140 initially and then came back down. So he, really didn't have a significant win at 140. He did lose to Mikey at 140.
Yeah, and he blamed that on the weight as well. Well, look, you can count at 140. I think he missed weight more often than he made weight at 140, didn't
he? Something like that, yeah. Yep.
And when he did make weight and he lost, yeah, he blamed it on the weight.
Well, actually, it was the WBA that he won from Malignaggi.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Was it the real WBA or was it the regular?
Probably was a regular because I think Floyd probably had the super.
It was either Floyd or Keith Thurman.
Yeah, Floyd or Keith Thurman, one of the two. Yep.
So there it is, brother. There it is. Let's move on to number 2, Big James.
Yep.
Bob Arum, fact or fiction, brother? Bob Arum will have as much luck rebuilding Jared Anderson as No Limits will have with Tim Tszyu. Fact or fiction?
Actually, that's a good one. How can I? Fiction. I'd say fiction. He would have more luck with that because if we're talking about Bob Arum and Top Rank in comparison to No Limit Records, No Limit Promotions.
Wow.
That they have the experience, they have the the guys there with Carl Moretti and Bruce Trampler in those, to where they could properly match him up. And I know that Bob Arum went publicly and said what he said in reference to Jared Anderson facing Martin Bacoli, but that was pretty much known already, like a couple weeks after that fight took place, why Jared Anderson took that fight. So I think if he kind of like sticks with being there with Top Rank, as they're very, very good matchmakers, he'll be able to build himself back to where he could properly be a heavyweight contender in the future.
That's a very good point, because look, where I have the utmost respect and trust in Top Rank and their ability to build attractions, I don't have any faith in No Limits. Those guys are pathetic. Now, this is what Bob Arum had to say when he was asked, commenting on why Jared Anderson chose to face Martin Bacoli on August 3rd. He said this: "It was the stupidest fight that Jared could have taken. He never fought a guy like that. So the fact that he got taken apart and knocked out was not surprising to me. So don't put it on my matchmakers. We were against that fight. But again, when they wave money at these kids, they insist on taking it."
Yeah, that was across the board. That's the same thing that Jared's trainer basically said. And the thing was, I talked about it. Like, the money was waved at him, and Jared got big eyes, and him being over there in Houston with his guys there, Jay Prince and them managing. He wanted to go his own way in that particular fight. So not only did he go away from Bob Arum and Top Rank, he went away from his old trainer there in Derry Riley and picked up Sugar Hill Stewart. And well, the thing is like Sugar Hill Stewart is a very, very, very good trainer. But it's something to where if you have a guy for the first time, it'll take a while for, both the trainer and the fighter to get comfortable in doing what, the fighter has to do. And Bacoli is the wrong person to do that against. Because goodness, man, anything that Jared Anderson threw at him, Bacoli was like, and it just beat him up.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Like, that was a horror show for top-ranking Jared Anderson.
Yeah.
And oh boy, I feel bad for my brother Sugar Hill. He got blamed for all of that.
Yeah.
Look, he's not his name is Sugar Hill Stewart, not Miracle Man Stewart.
Right.
Out, dude.
But like I said, that's a Jay Prince, Jared Anderson thing right there. So that was a quick cash grab.
Yeah, well, he got more than cash for that. Got an ass whooping. Ching out. Yep. All right, number 3, guys. Here it goes. And this is one from my brother Jesus M in the chat. Sorry, Canelo. Fact or fiction, Big James. Sorry, Canelo fans. Alvarez will not face Arthur Beterbiev on Cinco de Mayo 2025 and will add the current undisputed champ at 175 pounds to his ever-growing list of avoided fighters. Fact or fiction?
Well, that's a double fact. That's a double fact. I mean, I said this, in the preview to Beterbiev versus Bivol, that if there was anything for Canelo to try to have an opportunity to get back to 175 and fight for a world title at 175, is if Bivol was the one that ended up being the winner there. And that didn't happen, 1. And then 2, you're leaning towards going for a rematch between Bivol and Beterbiev. So they're not going to have like that next fight and then a quick turnaround to have the winner fight in May against Canelo. So that's not going to happen. So that leaves Canelo to, face another guy that, a lot of people will say shouldn't be in the ring with him. But it's going to be another one of those mandatory defenses at 168.
Oh, boy. Yeah, mandatory defenses. Like, who do you see that being? To be honest with you, I have no idea at this point.
Christian and
Billy.
Because
he's run all out of options. You really think it's going to be Christian and Billy?
Yeah, because the thing is, we know about the result that happened this past weekend, and I'll speak with the promoter of one of those fighters tomorrow. With that being said, that belt won't necessarily be there on the line, and he's not going to try to fight one of those guys there to become quote unquote undisputed again at 168. So he's going to have another one of those mandatory defenses, and Billy is the one that has, was ranked number 1 in multiple boxing organizations. So that's what I see is next, at least for now, for Santos Saul Alvarez Barragan.
Yeah. And the last fact or fiction of today. I think you'll like this one. Fact or fiction, sir? Boots will again struggle with Karen Chewbacca after Donald Trump is elected as our next president. Fact or fiction?
This is a 2-parter.
Mm-hmm.
The first part is a fiction. The second part is a fact.
Woo! Honestly, I was in such a hurry, I had forgotten how to spell or pronounce Chukadzian.
Chukadzian.
There's Karen Chukadzian.
It's Karen Chukadzian.
Well, I had forgotten how to spell it, so I put Chewbacca. I was like, oh, shit, who cares?
Yeah. The thing about it is, I feel like it's going to be a different type of approach there for Jerron Boots Ennis against Chukadzian, and he'll, likely get him within 6 rounds or so. I think that he'll kind of like show that he's worked on cutting off the ring, but also, doing what he needs to do in reference to the foot movement of Karen Chukadzian. So, and it's almost similar to where you see what we saw with Crawford versus Madrimov. But the thing with Crawford is a natural counter puncher. So he kind of fights off of his back foot, while Boots is a little bit more stationary and moves forward at times. So he's gonna, just show like he can, effectively cut off the ring and affect Kieran Chikazi, and then eventually get a stoppage win in that.
Well, let's just hope that he's gotten much better at cutting off the ring and closing the distance. I'm assuming that that's what he and Bozy are working on at this time. And look, all confidence in Bozy Ennis, one of the best trainers in boxing.
Yep.
So let's just hope that is the case.
Yeah. That's my man. That's what he said.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Here we go. Let's look at this, brother. This is we're gonna go into some more. I want to get your thoughts on this, right?
Okay.
We're gonna put this on the screen, and this is this is part of we're gonna consider this.
Terrible fan takes on Twitter/X.
Woo! I tell you what, man.
Wait, real quick, is that the flyer for the next event there in San Antonio coming up?
No, it was an old one. I just haven't changed it yet, brother. Okay. So tell me when you can see this, my friend. I'm going to read this because it's kind of small, so I'm going to read it.
Mm-hmm.
This is Bill Haney's response to Oscar's latest Clapback Thursday, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, quote, and this is Bill Haney quoting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Quote, "Stop the bullshit, Oscar. Your clapback took a week and it's still broken. You answered no questions. Ryan said he paid $1.5 million for the weight issue, but we only got $600,000 from the commission. Plus, Golden Boy received $1 million in damages, leaving $900,000 unaccounted for. If you want, I'll come over and pick up the $1.9 million right now. Fighters and fans deserve transparency. Settle this the right way, Oscar." Look. Now, first of all, why does Bill Haney believe he deserves anything at this point?
Well, I don't know, and this sounds like weird, very weird to me, because one, I wouldn't go necessarily public with that if it's something if it's that serious, because the way that he's putting it is like his son, Devin Miles Haney, didn't necessarily get paid for performing at the Barclays Center in April of this year. That's what it's looking like. But if that was the case, then I wouldn't say anything. I would just go ahead and take it to court. But what this is like telling me, and I've kind of like said this a couple of times with the comments that have been made by Bill Haney and Oscar De La Hoya and Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, is that they are planting the seeds for a rematch. That's what I'm.
Well, look, that's what the entire lawsuit is all about. He did look. They didn't expect to win this. They want leverage to try and negotiate a rematch and to try and negotiate on the strength of their bullshit, frivolous lawsuit to try and get leverage during negotiations. But he has none. This is all a bunch of horse shit, and as usual, he's pandering to his idiotic fans. Now, I don't know how to. I don't. This is a guy who is playing the same old broken, weak hand that he has been this entire time, and it's getting really old. This guy sucks ass. Let's just face it. Oh my gosh, he's become a joke. Like, does anyone in this business take him seriously at this point?
Not when he says that Devin Haney is the reason for the zone in America being what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, look, this guy is he's not to be taken seriously. Like no one should take this cat seriously from this point forward. Like really, this guy's he's become a joke. He's become a joke. While we still have this up, let's see if we can get something else. Hold on. These guys always have terrible fan takes. Hold on, man. Oh, Chingao. No, I don't have anything else slated. But look, let's go back to this, brother. Oh, hold on. Let's go back to this, brother. Let's go back to Tim Tszyu. What were your thoughts when you saw all of that unfold?
That Tim Tszyu got cooked.
Yeah, as early as the first round, brother, when he first came out and you saw Bakram Murtazalia pumping that jab and it was already getting the attention and knocking Tim Tszyu off of his feet.
Well, yeah. And the way that I was looking at Murtazalia and I was kind of like saying that he's like a 154 version of Artur Beterbiev in his look, but also in his style offensively, because what he'll do is from a power punch, he'll continue to punch with the same hand that he threw or landed a power shot with, which is what Beterbiev does a lot, you know? So he could, you know, either throw a left hook and then continue with the left jab, or do a right hook and then, you know, just a uppercut to the body. That's what Murtazalia was doing. And then you add speed on top of that. He was, you know, throwing punches and bunches, was very fluent with his punch output. And Tim Tszyu was just not very prepared for all of that.
Oh, geez. Yeah, to say the least. It's like, what did he actually prepare for? Like, it's like you didn't see any of his defensive lapses corrected at all.
None.
At all. Well, I tell you what, we do have one more, brother. Let's do this, okay?
All right.
Yeah, because we only have about 5 minutes before Big Rick Glazer comes on, right?
Yeah.
So here we go, brother. I'm going to put this on the screen. It's the very last one. Should I play the song again, brother? What do you think? I'm going to play the song one more time. I'm going to play my beautiful Kenyan accent one more time, brother. How's that?
Terrible fan takes on Twitter/X.
And there it is. And there it is. Here we go, brother. We're running out of time.
These guys ain't even your fans, bro. Like, only Lenses is real fan. Most of these guys are just Canelo haters. They think Benavidez is the next monster to beat Canelo. Bro, Mike Tyson called him the Mexican monster because he forgot his name. Because Benavidez is a forgettable person. That's why Mike Tyson was off that Mike Tyson's Ranch exclusive. He forgot the guy's name, so he's like, oh, they're this Mexican monster. Like, bro, come on, bro. That's why he said that. Like, it's ridiculous.
Wild.
Okay. So there it is. There it is. Your thoughts on all of that, Big James.
Yeah, that's
Do you know where to begin? Do you even know where to begin from that?
No, I don't know where that person got that stuff from, and you know that's like us. I mean, like we said, we get a lot of those type of takes when you know you run into that show. So.
Oh, Chingao. Yeah, look, if he were that easy of work for Canelo Alvarez, right? And if no one believed that he could actually pose a threat, or at least a 50-50 fight to Canelo Alvarez, let's just face it. Even at this age, I see it as at least 55-45. Maybe, like, look, I can't say 50-50 definitively because we've seen Canelo slip. So 55-45, but it's still a pretty evenly matched fight, in my opinion. It's a good style matchup for Canelo. Or is it, James?
Yeah, it is a good style matchup for him because the thing with Benavidez is that he kind of like builds off of accumulation of punches, so to speak. So that kind of gives Canelo the opportunity to like catch and slip, counter him, and have those opportunities to really work the inside of David Benavidez. And the thing with Canelo is he has issues with guys that move a lot. Benavidez, you don't necessarily have to worry about that. Like he moves, what I would say, fairly intelligently, but he doesn't move very often. I'll just put it that way. So he wouldn't have to worry about someone like a Bivol, moving all around the ring or moving in and out outside the pocket. The only thing that he would have to try to get through is, the volume of punches from Benavidez while Benavidez is at a longer range from Canelo. So that's the thing about it.
Yeah, I still don't understand why. Yeah, if these Canelo fans think that this is such easy work, and this is obviously the biggest money fight that he can participate in at this time, right? Minus the Sheik, then why wouldn't he do it? Once again, guys, just use common sense. It's not that difficult to understand. Like I will never and now they're talking about facing Arthur Beterbiev, and Canelo can face Arthur Beterbiev or can beat Arthur Beterbiev. Look, guys, this wasn't a mandated fight between him and Dimitri Bivol. He chose to fight Dimitri Bivol because he thought that was the guy that was the lesser of both evils. How'd that turn out? Guys, this isn't that difficult to figure out, guys. So why do Canelo fans have such a hard time with all of this, like digesting any of this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. I mean, can you make sense of this?
Nope, not really.
Guys, I tell you what, it's my pleasure to introduce at this time my brother from another mother from Buffalo, New York, the incomparable Big Rick Glazer. Rick, how art thou, sir?
Joe, thanks for having me tonight. Fire away. I'm ready to go. Got a quick half hour here. We're ready. We're ready.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to say goodnight to our brother, J.R. Bell from the Boxing Swords. It's good to see you, brother, and thank you for taking Ronnie's place in this edition of Fact or Fiction, my friend. Your parting shots for our listening audience, sir.
Yeah, no problem. The Fact or Fiction was very, very good. Like we were saying there with Canelo Alvarez, it's going to be to see who he ends up facing in May. But I said Christian and Billy, because if he's able to get good numbers fighting Munguia and Hamburger-Lenga, then he could pretty much face anybody, man, and it won't really matter. So here's that. And on that note, I'm out for today. Catch y'all later. Peace.
Good. Thank you, Big James. We appreciate you being here, my friend. Rick, I tell you what, let's take a look at, and it's been a minute since we've done this, right? Let's take a look at this. Here it is.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glazer's Twitter watch. Bang!
And this tweet was delivered on October 21st, yesterday. And you stated this, Rick, quote, "No one should mention Canelo fighting Arthur Beterbiev, as it's not a fight Canelo would even consider taking. Canelo didn't take a David Benavidez fight. He's definitely not going to fight Beterbiev either. Canelo is in the late stage of his now 18-year career, and the first ballot Hall of Famer is now 34 years old. Canelo will be taking the carefully pick and choose route for the remainder of his career. Could Canelo fight Terrence Crawford? Even with Turki Al-Sheikh's Riyadh season financial influence, Canelo has shunned even talking about a Crawford fight. We're now in the Canelo Alvarez farewell tour, and all of the above will not make boxing enthusiasts very happy, but that's the reality." Rick, I don't see where there's any complication in this line of thinking. But why has this become so hard for Canelo Alvarez fans to figure out?
Well, some of these fighters have cult-like followings. You know, Pacquiao had it, Floyd had it, Canelo has it, and they, you know, he's coming to the tail end of his career. He's got at the most 3 years left, 6 fights over 3 years, and that's it. And if you average, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. If you're going to make $35 million a fight, that's, you know, and you multiply that by 6. It's, you know, that's $200,000 in round figures. So in the meantime, that's what's going to happen, and whether we like it or not, that is what's going to happen. And I can just see it. I don't think he's going to fight Benavidez. He's not going to fight Beterbiev. Will he fight Crawford? Well, that right there is probably the limit, because he's small. He'll consider Crawford small, not dangerous, and stuff like that. But Crawford's got a lot of tools in the toolbox, and Crawford could play games with his mind in there, because Crawford will be quicker, and he's got very agile on his feet, and he's a ringmaster. So we'll see what happens. But will we be lucky if we end up with a Crawford fight?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with all of those. And you know, once again, guys, Canelo fans, look, therapy, I think, is in order at this point. Therapy, guys. Therapy. On October 9th, you said this, Rick. I'm going to give you a twofer because they're pretty connected. You stated this immediately following the Tim Tszyu demolition on Saturday. You wrote, quote, Tim Tszyu KO'd in round 3. Game over for the Aussie. Has no punch resistance left. The PBC curse is real. And then you stated this. If I were advising Tim Tszyu, I would definitely advise him to retire. Sad to say, but it's absolutely the wise choice for Tim. Hopefully he makes that wise decision. His long-term health depends on it. Hashtag Australia Boxing. First of all, let's go to the first one. The PBC curse is real?
It must be. As soon as they fight another fighter's promoter, they never win. So it must be real. It's been going on for years. You know, Coach Malachi Williams talked to Carl Moretti, and Carl told him, he said, we're 23-4, 23 wins and 4 losses versus PBC fighters. And they never seem to beat anybody else's fighters. Now, the other night was main events fighter, and Mutalev there, whatever how you pronounce his name. And it's just, you know, the Eddie Hearn matchroom curse is real. They're 0-14 this year in main events in men's boxing. Now, women's boxing, he did win a couple fights, but not men's boxing. So
well, look,
it's real.
Maybe, Rick, instead of thinking about another 5 versus 5, because I'm hearing from what I'm being told that's going to happen in February with Joshua versus Dubois 2 in the main event of that. They're thinking of doing another Warren Hearn matchroom Queensberry 5-on-5. Rather than that, maybe they should start thinking about a matchroom versus PBC 5-on-5.
Yeah, they might. They'll probably end up with 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw.
That's pretty good, brother. Well, I tell you what, I hope everyone, because yesterday was the last day to register to vote. I hope everyone registered to vote. And guys, once again, follow your common sense, guys. It's like, seriously, just think about things. Think about things before you vote and pray about it. That's all I'm going to say. Ching yao, man. Oh, jeez. Let's get this one. You stated this earlier before the fight. October 19th, once again, it said, where have you gone, Keith Thurman? Keith will be 36 years in November, has just fought only once in 5.5 years. And last fight was 2.5 years ago. Pulled out of a fight earlier this year versus Tim Tszyu. Nat Thurman was being used as cannon fodder. The desire to fight has to be there to compete, especially at the highest level. And Thurman has shown no desire. He's never officially announced his retirement, but he's really retired for all practical purposes. Best regards in retirement to Keith Thurman. That's a very safe place for him. And did you mention this because he was very vocal and he was there in attendance for the Tim Tszyu fight?
No, it's just that, it's over. His time has passed him by. He has shown no inkling to fight. Just some people are like that. They just had enough, and he just one of those guys that had enough, and he just hasn't announced his retirement. He keeps fooling these people that the very few Keith Thurman fans that are out there. You know what I mean? I mean, there's not a lot of them. It's not like it's exactly a cult following. You know what I mean? Nothing about Keith Thurman is too exciting. So there you go.
Yeah, you know what? For the amount of money that he's been paid, and once again, this is what started this terrible trend for boxing, PBC paying out inflated purses. He's never been a big attraction.
No. Nope.
Yeah,
No,
so
he did
why?
not.
Once again, that's what happens though, kids, when you start paying out these inflated purses. It creates a terrible trend for the health of the sport, and it makes putting together the best fights possible virtually impossible.
Yep.
That's it. Look, I will give you here's a big question. Who is more shot in your opinion, or is this a push? Chris Colbert or Tim Tszyu? Who has the better chance of making a comeback in their respective divisions?
I don't know. It's a good one. I would say Tim Tszyu because he's a better puncher, and Colbert's not a puncher at all. So I would say because the guy can punch some, he would be the better comeback. But they're both completely shot. I mean, neither should fight ever again.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, it's going to be very, very difficult. The road. And now, can you think of a fighter? One like Tim Tszyu, who was a legitimate attraction. Now we can't mention Chris Colbert in this scenario, but a guy who was a genuine professional franchise in Australia. First of all, your thoughts on his team's handling of their franchise?
It's been despicable. It's been absolutely horrible. First of all, is he went from fighting a 5'7" guy in Thurman that was shot to fighting a 6'5" guy that's left-handed. So, between the left-handed and the tall versus the short and the right-handed on 3 weeks' notice, that was ridiculous. And they never got a rematch clause. So the other night he wouldn't have not been knocked out if he would have got a rematch clause, because he would have been fighting Vondora. So in a rematch. So there's your answer right there.
Well, I tell you what, let's move on to the next one before we say hello to our dear friends in the chat. And this one I think is very interesting, and I think you were right on the money here, Rick. This was tweeted from Rick's account on October 17th. He states this, quote, undisputed champ Artur Beterbiev has been ordered by the IBF to next face Germany's 13-1 Michael Eifert. Another example of why the IBF needs to change their obsoleted behind-the-times rules. When there's an undisputed champ, you should have to do 2 eliminators to be mandatory. Hashtag boxing. Look, it's time, Rick. It's time. Now, please expound on that, because we just saw the IBF's mandatory put a whooping on Tim Tszyu. But go ahead, explain, sir.
Okay, so when you have a champion that's a super champion, whether it's a Beterbiev, in other words, he's undisputed, super champ. I meant undisputed champ. I'm sorry, an undisputed champion. Okay, like Usyk was, Canelo, Beterbiev, any of these guys, like Crawford was at 47. They took the belt from Crawford, they handed the IBF belt to what's his name there, to Boots. Then what they did was they took Usyk's belt from him. They took now they're going to take they took Canelo's belt from him, and now they want to take Beterbiev. They should have to fight two eliminators. They should have to fight two eliminators before they're ever a mandatory. Okay, if the guy is a undisputed champion, or if a guy is the champ and he already fought that challenger, like that guy that's fighting Boots Ennis, that Karen, whatever his name is, another Russian. Okay, he Boots won easy. Now he should, because he's now the mandatory, he should have to fight two eliminators, not one, and prove it. Okay, and that's another example. And we have to sit there and watch that on November 9th, because of the fact, I mean, Eddie Hearn's got to load the card up and put Bam Rodriguez on there, because nobody's looking forward to seeing that fight that nobody wanted to see the first time, and nobody definitely wants to see the second time. And I understand and respect the IBF following their rules. They are an organization that definitely follows the rules, but the rules are obsoleted. The rules are not in tune with the times. It's about being it's not about being a belt holder anymore for some of these guys. They want to be undisputed. Then you can become undisputed. Then they shove this fucking useless mandatory up your ass. Okay. Now, and it's not the way it should be. The fans are pissed off. Okay, and they count just as much as the fighters, because the fighters couldn't get paid if the fans weren't paying. Okay, so they count just as much as the fighters do. The fighters are mad. The promoters are mad. They're putting themselves in a no-win situation, and they need to change the rules. A guy should not have to fight a mandatory. As soon as the guy gets out of the ring, your mandatory is due at the IBF, or they strip you before the fight. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yep, it is indeed ridiculous. And honestly, didn't we just see one that was a big waste of time recently?
What's that?
The IBF mandatory.
There's a whole bunch of them there.
We just saw several that were a complete waste of time.
Jared Ennis versus that Karen guy. Now they got to do it again because he won a mandate, because he's mandatory again. I mean, it's not right.
Yeah. Yeah, look, and once again, I think what Arthur should do in his team, as well as Top Rank, they really should just ditch the IBF title. It does not do anything to diminish the rematch with Dimitri Bivol. They should do what Alexander Usyk just did.
Yep.
Like, I don't see where there's a problem, and no fans would hold that against him.
No, the IBF is putting themselves in a no-win situation here unless they do change the rules.
That's it.
And listen, I've been very vocal about this. I was a big supporter for years of Daryl Peoples and the IBF. I've always thought he's done a great job, but the rules have not caught up with the times on how boxing is today. First of all, the fighters don't fight as often as they used to. That's an issue. His mandatories are due every 9 months, except in the heavyweight division. They should all be due every per year, unless the guy's a super champion. Then it should be 2 years, and it should be a what do you call it? A double eliminator. So that's all there is to it. He's just got to change a couple rules and come with the times. Okay, I mean, let's be realistic about it.
Yeah, not good, guys.
I mean, look at PBC. Look at PBC's champions. They fight once every 14 months and 1 week. I mean, come on. Come on.
Wow. Oh, Chingao. I tell you what, let's go to our dear friends in the chat. They've got a bunch of questions for you here, Rick. Let's see. Hold on. Let me try to find this. Let's go to this one, number one. Alberto, my brother in Christ, thank you for joining us, my friend. Thank you for supporting Big Rick on this day. He says, who is funding Pro Box TV, Rick?
Gary Jonas is his name.
Gary Jonas.
He's the creator of Showbox. He's the sole owner of Showbox TV. And he is...
ProBox.
Yeah, ProBox. and he's basically the matchmaker. He determines who the TV fights are going to fight, and he's doing a great job all the way around. Matter of fact, I put him on my one of the best guys in boxing list because of the fact that he's done a great job at Pro Box. No question, he's a creator of the thing. He's the financier and he's the matchmaker. I mean, you can't be more hands on than that, can you?
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I think they're doing a great job. Much better concept this time than Iron Mike Productions. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but that was too many people. That was too many people involved. He streamlined it where he's making his own decisions. He doesn't need to hire people to make mistakes.
Yep, I think you're absolutely right. They're doing a fantastic job with. It's almost like they're doing a great job with the Island of Misfit Fighters.
Yeah,
the guys who aren't signed but are still great commodities and produce great fights when matched up properly.
Very viable. He's using fighters that are very viable, and it's a good show. I mean, they're putting on really, really good fights. I mean, Chris Colbert got his career ended on that. We should just thank him for that. Gary Jonas.
Oh, Chingao, Rick. And Heido, welcome to the show, sir. He says, Rick, is Al Heyman really sick? Why are you sending prayers to Heyman but not Cameron Duncan?
Well, you can't compare the two of them. I mean, one is Al does a lot of things that are unscrupulous, but he does everything. You don't have to judge everything out of his mouth being a lie. Where Cameron Duncan, everything that came out of his mouth was a lie. So. I mean, like the joke was in boxing. If Cameron Duncan's mouth's moving, he's either eating or lying. It's one of the two.
Holy shit!
Yep.
We want to give a big shout out to my brother Toby Bartlett. Thank you for supporting Big Rick on this day. Also, my brother Eric Gomez, welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for supporting Big Rick on this day. Also, Lonzo Amazing, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for supporting Rick on this day. And hold on. Let's see. We've got another one. Chinga. Okay. Who is Beth Daniel? Welcome to the show, sir. If Canelo versus Bud have actually happened, I don't think Bud would be that much smaller than Canelo. What say you, Rick?
No, I don't think he would be either. But everybody thinks he's a small guy. Bud's a very big guy for 47 and 54. He's going to be smaller than Canelo, but he's got a lot of advantages: speed, ring guile, in and out mobility, agility. He's just got that killer instinct too. I mean, Bud. Terrence Crawford is a natural born killer. He's just one of those type of guys, and he just is. I had the luxury of talking to him twice last week. His attorney and his agent are friends of mine, and they were eating in Miami a couple times last week, and they put me on the phone with him, and he's just a great guy. I have nothing but respect for the guy. And you'll never, ever, ever hear me say anything negative about Terrence Crawford. He's a great guy, a great all-time great fighter, and he's what boxing is truly all about. He'll fight anybody. Just pay the man.
Well, there it is, brother, and that's definitely one way of looking at it. Alberto, once again, he says, Big Rick, tell me if you agree with this. I can see Canelo fighting Jake Paul at some point. I really can. If the Netflix is still in this business, they will throw Canelo 50+ million if the Tyson fight is a success. That's a big if now, isn't it, Rick?
Yeah, it's a big if, but yeah, it's a funny thing. We know Jake Paul's can't fight. We know that. But that's a funny thing. That fight could have some steam to it. I could see that fight possibly happening, believe it or not. And not because I want the fight to happen, but I just think this sport is crazy enough and this business is crazy enough that thing would sell. You know, it's sad to say, but it, like Conor McGregor and Mayweather sold, I think this could sell.
Speaking of which, Rick, is this all just bullshit and social networking? But is there any truth or any legs to Crawford wrestling old man Conor McGregor and beating the shit out of him in the octagon?
What's that?
Is there any truth or any legs to Terrence Crawford wrestling old man Conor McGregor and beating the shit out of him in the octagon sometime in 2025?
I don't know.
Because they were trading barbs on social media.
It's not going to happen, no.
Yeah. 509 Mex, welcome to the show, sir. And he says, we need 5 minutes every week dedicated to just hearing Rick chew while on the air. Oh, we love you, Rick. And Alberto says, Big Rick is pumped up for Friday to watch his Yankees in the Fall Classic. Woo-woo! Here, here. How many games does this go, Rick?
How many?
How many games does it go, Rick? In your mind?
7 games.
You think it goes 7? Wow.
No matter who wins. No matter who wins.
What, the fans are in for a real classic then. And you look, for lack of a better term, this is really a Subway Series. These are the Bronx Bombers versus the Bums from Brooklyn, isn't it?
There's no bums. You mean from the Bronx?
No. I said the Bronx Bombers versus the Bums from Brooklyn. That's
No,
what the Dodgers are.
That haven't been that way in over 60 years. But yeah, I guess. That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, look, historically, they used to have a hobo for a mascot.
You're right. You're right.
I tell you what, God bless it. This is going to be. So, is this the first time in recent memory you can think of that there hasn't been a wild card winning the pennant in one of the leagues? Because this is the first time in a while I can remember the 2 best teams from each league representing and winning the pennant.
They're the 2 best teams in baseball in their respective winning call, and we haven't had that in many years. So yeah, it's great.
I think it's amazing, and I honestly, guys, truth be known, baseball is my favorite sport. It just stinks that the Reds haven't been relevant in such a long time. Oh, Chingo. Yep. Oh well. I tell you what, though. Let me see what you think of this. Alberto also says this. Benavidez also isn't a hard puncher. He drowns fighters with volume. Canelo can definitely catch him in between shots. It's a 50-50 fight, in my opinion. Rick, what say you, sir?
Ask the question over again. I'm sorry.
No. That's all right. That's all right, brother. It says Benavidez, Alberto. And once again, thank you for supporting Big Rig and hanging with us, my friend. It says Benavidez also isn't a hard puncher. He drowns fighters with volume. Canelo can definitely catch him in between shots, in my opinion.
Oh, no. I've always said Canelo. I've always said Canelo would beat Benavidez. I feel the same way today as I felt a year ago. Why he won't fight him, I don't know. But I don't think he wants a rough fight. It's a rough fight. It's not an easy fight. But I think Canelo wins.
You think Canelo wins? Then why the hell isn't he making this fight a reality?
I don't know. I just said I think he doesn't want a rough fight.
You know what? Yeah, that is true. I don't think he wants a rough fight. Yeah, this isn't good, guys. Like, this is not good for the fans. Fans deserve this. Now, last tweet before we let you go, Rick. He stated this on October 19th. And please tell us what made you come to this conclusion, sir. Joe Tessitore is a much better football announcer than he is ESPN boxing announcer. Joe should stick to football.
Well, I'm gonna qualify that. I know so much about boxing because it's my livelihood. I realize how bad he is. I don't know that much about football, so he sounds a lot better to me. He may be bad at football too. I don't know.
You know what? I think he is. I agree. I think he's a much better college football announcer than he is boxing. And in my opinion, Rick, that's what boxing is sorely lacking at this time. The commentary to make it feel, to give fans that feel of a big time event. Honestly, we haven't felt that and heard that since Lampley and Merchant basically retired when HBO ducked out. So in your mind, who would make a quality, who would be a good boxing announcer at this time that we could borrow from another sport? Damn it.
I don't know. Tough to say.
Chingo. I'll tell you what. And Jesus M, he says, yeah, baseball is the best sport, but the business of MLB is no good. Well, it can't be any worse than boxing, Jesus. Okay, so here's another one from, last one from Jairo Galvez. And thank you for hanging with us, my friend. Says, Rick, who is running PBC while Al is sick then? How do they have money to put these shows on at all?
They're getting money from investors on a per show basis. I understand. Big time investors.
Well, I tell you what. Yeah, it's hold on, real quick. Yeah, honestly, guys, so is there any guarantee that we're going to see David Benavidez versus Dave Morrell Jr. in your mind? Does this even happen in January or February of next year?
I don't know. It's too speculative. I don't want to be pinpointed on something like that. It's just too speculative.
Yeah, honestly, I'd be very, very surprised if this actually goes off in my mind. And I'll go ahead and say it. I wouldn't be surprised if these were scrapped, because keep in mind, they haven't announced a date. They haven't announced a venue. They haven't announced a card. And look, they're talking about Spence versus Fundora, and it's the same situation. I think PBC actually folds after December 14th, in my opinion. And this has everything to do with Al Heyman. Those are my thoughts, Rick. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't think I think they're trying to see if Spence should even be fighting anymore. See him in the gym and see how he is and stuff. I don't think he should be fighting anymore, and I think they know it.
Well, I tell you what, Rick, we're about out of time. Your parting shots for our listening audience, sir.
I got no parting shot tonight, except that whoever asked questions, thank you. Whoever tuned in, thank you. And to the sponsors, thank you. And to you, Joe, always thank you for me being on your show, and I'm glad I'm part of it.
God bless you, Rick. You're always a part of the extended family, my friend. I will speak to you very soon, brother. God bless, and go Yankees. I hate the Dodgers. God bless you, my friend. Have a good night. Guys, that was Big Rick Glazer. So, guys, if you have any other questions, we're going to stay on a little bit longer. Not a whole lot. We've got a ton of work to do. We've got an event coming up on November 23rd, and we still have some matchups to secure for this. But I will drop the link in case you guys actually want to come on and let us know what you think. But guys, yeah, I think, yeah, Rick was receiving a bunch of phone calls. That's what I think, because I've seen some messages saying, yeah, Rick was a little off today. No, it's sometimes, look, Rick is a really busy guy and he never punches out. He deals with a lot of clients worldwide. So they're calling in from different time zones. And yeah, that's probably what happened. That's usually what takes place. But But we want to thank Rick for his time today. We also want to thank J.R. Bell for his time on this episode of Real Talk with Rick Glazer. And we apologize that Ronnie Shields, he's going to be off next week too, guys, because he has a big fight in Vegas with both Floyd Schofield and David Stevens. Floyd Schofield's going to be taking on the very tough Rene Diaz, right? And then David Stevens, boy, he's got his work cut out for him against Beck the Bully, Bektamir Melikuziev. And this is going to be very, very difficult. This is going to be very difficult for both men. I do like Floyd's chances, but he's going to be tested in this. And honestly, David Stevens, I think David's getting knocked the F out. And that's what I think. So there it is, guys. There it is. Let's see. The fighter's last name ends in V. I bet on him. V stands for victory. I don't know if I know very many fighters ending in V, brother. Let's see. Is Kid Austin still with Golden Boy? Yes. In fact, that's going to be a Golden Boy date on November 2nd. So it should be a tremendous evening of boxing. And I'm really looking forward to it. Guys, we're going to be going live, calling the action from War Week Boxing. And Alberto, have you noticed we haven't talked about this fight at all, Alberto? Thank you for joining us, my friend. He said, Joe, what are your thoughts on Regis versus Catterall fight this Saturday? Like Rick says, Regis is shot in Gonzo. I don't know if he's shot in Gonzo. I don't think he is. I just think this is a fight between two counterpunchers, which will look like watching paint dry. If you want to see something just as entertaining, go outside and water your grass and watch it grow. That's what it's going to look like, guys. This is going to be a real snoozer. And Matchroom is really setting up Regis Prograis for the fall. And they're going to cut him shortly after this fight. And in my opinion, he deserves better. This is why I'm not even covering this fight. Honestly, I can't stand it. I'm going to watch the World Series instead. Because, this is not good. I'm going to be watching college football instead. Regis is a very good fighter, but he needs to be matched up in competitive matchups. And when they do, it's always entertaining, always exciting. And my brother says, so this will be airing at Dave & Buster's. It very well may, but I'm not going to be throwing a party. I'm not going to be watching it there. Why? To see my brother Regis get hung out to dry? My brother from Houston, Texas? I have a lot of respect for Regis and have been I was covering his career before he even turned pro. Right? He was displaced from Louisiana, migrated to Houston after Katrina, and he has been fighting there since. And even though Matchroom Sport, even though he's virtually from Houston, they put his homecoming in New Orleans and no one showed up. This just goes to show what a clue Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Sport has in the American market. They don't have any. And honestly, I'm not going to support it because my brother Regis cannot win this fight. He can't win. They're putting him in the European market as a former champion facing Jack Catterall to basically enhance the non-ticket selling attraction that is Jack Catterall, trying to enhance his career and make him look like a world beater. That's what this is all about. And so, I'm not going to support it, guys. Joe, did you see the ignorance that Bill Haney was spewing on Twitter to Ryan Garcia yesterday? No. Honestly, guys, I don't spend a lot of time on social media, and you know why. Look, the terrible fan takes that I get are given to me from my light heavyweight, my brother Rob Gonzalez, who's going to be competing next year, making his pro debut. And I don't even look at social media. Terrible fan takes. Every once in a while I do, but I don't really like to spend my valuable time. I'd rather spend my valuable time live with you guys, to be honest. Team Haney is seeing the walls are closing in, and right, yeah. Look, that we told you guys this was going to happen. No other channel told you guys this was going to happen, and why? Because they don't know shit about the business. And then we still see channels like the Boxing Voice, right? Pom-pom waving for Devin Haney. This is a lost cause, guys. Raphael 32. Thank you for hanging with us, brother. He says it's in Sheffield too. It's in Sheffield, so the fight is big over there. Yes, it is, and it's going to make Jack Catterall, who is a good fighter, but he's a one-trick pony, a lot like Regis Prograis. If you come at Jack Catterall, he's going to make you look terrible if you're not proficient at cutting off the ring and closing the distance. He's going to shred you. You're going to make him look, Regis is going to make him look like Floyd Mayweather Jr. Mark my words, guys. Law says, Jack is a decent fighter. He's better than a decent fighter. He's better than a decent fighter. He's a very good fighter, and he's a contender. A legitimate contender, and he deserves a shot at the title. But he's not a big ticket seller. And that's what they're trying to cultivate at the expense of Regis Prograis. Law says, what else is Regis going to do, Joe? Well, let's see. They had Subriel Matias. They just cut him. You could have put Subriel Matias in Regis Prograis in Houston, Texas. That would have been a huge fight. And it would have been a great one. It would have been a fight of the year candidate. But once again, Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Sport, they don't know what they have in their stable. And that's why they don't do shit in cultivating attractions in the American market, because they don't know the market. It's frustrating. Mateo. Oh, thank you, brother. Joe, I saw Goon. Great recommendation. Can't wait for your next. Well, you know what? I don't have one prepared, brother. But pick a genre. Pick a movie genre, and I will pick one for you. Okay? Once again, I think one of the most underrated eras in cinematic history, in the modern era of cinema anyway, was between 2010 and 2020, before COVID ruined everything. Right? And so pick a genre, Mateo, and I will pick something out for you. Suspense, crime, thriller, drama, comedy. I think I picked 2 comedies last time, right? You know what? Let me sci-fi. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. Let me try. Oh, you know what? I've got the perfect one. This is one starring Aubrey Plaza, and it's an independent feature, and it's one of my favorite movies of the past 20 years. And it's called what is it called? It's called Safety Not Guaranteed, and it's made in 2012, and it's starring Mark Duplass also. This was a truly great, memorable, original movie. Outstanding, guys. And if you've never seen it, do yourself a favor and see it. And this was based on a true life ad. It was placed. It was a real life ad placed in a local periodical. And they made a movie out of this, and this is absolutely fascinating. It was written by Derek Connolly and directed by Colin Trevorrow, starring Aubrey Plaza, Mark Duplass, Jake Johnson. And it's by far one of the best movies to come out of 2012. And one of my favorite science fiction movies made in the last 20, 25 years. And it's on a limited budget, and it's an independent feature, and it is truly outstanding, guys. Let me, I'll get you another comedy also. Oh, hold on. Raphael 32. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. The Boxer on Netflix is a good one. Who is that movie based after? Michael Nunn did a full interview on Vlad that was very entertaining. The Boxer. What year did that come out? Let's see. The Boxer. Let's see. The Boxer. It's guys, this is news to me. What year did this come out? Oh, it came out this year. That's why. I'm not too keen on movies. I stopped doing movie reviews several years ago. And it's a Netflix movie. I'll check it out, brother. You know what? Why don't I pull up the trailer so we can watch it together, guys? I'm very curious now about this, my friend. And so hang on, guys, while I pull up the trailer to both this and Satisfaction or Safety Not Guaranteed, okay? Because I'm really curious now about this. 2024 trailer. This is cool. Thank you guys for bringing this up, because I've never even heard of this. Okay, let's see. Let me put it on pause so you guys can see this with me. Let's rewind it. Okay, we're going to watch, guys. And thank you, Raphael, once again for the super chat. And thank you for bringing this up. Let's, I just heard a plane. I'm convinced Joe lives near an airport. No, I don't. In fact, I live about 25 miles from the airport. But I am out on my patio is probably a truck, right? I always like to do shows outside where I can, and I hate to say this, but where I can smoke. Yeah. Can't smoke in the house, guys. And for some reason, when I write and when I do the show, I always have to be smoking for some reason. Call it a vice, guys. A terrible one as well. I wouldn't recommend it. Here it is, guys. Boxer, the official trailer. Let me know what you guys think. And let me know when you guys can see and hear this, right? Can you see this yet? Okay, very good. We're going to play this, guys.
Two brutes just hitting each other in the face. One punches the other, but then gets punched back. I don't know, seems dull.
I just think we deserve more. I mean, you deserve it.
My husband's a champion, and we have our own apartment that he boxed for. Can it get better?
We have to leave Poland. To England.
London, baby.
We'd like to speak with Neil McCavanagh.
Oh, would you? Okay, what I do, if you go bang a left out the door and...
Oh, wake up already. You're about to be a father with no kids. Or, I don't know, baby clothes, diapers, anything, and you want to spend all of our savings?
But I have to keep boxing.
Let's see what comes of this.
Wait, that's a bad man. Do not sign any contract with him, I'm telling you. I work my off at 2 jobs in a foreign country, so you could keep punching a bag.
When is Dad getting here?
and I would go professional and make millions there.
Huh?
Oh, it's Poland.
What can your boy need to?
Okay, I've gotta go.
You see something through the road?
I'm staying.
So, guys, what'd you think? Is it worth a watch? I tell you what, I'm going to be out of curiosity. I'm going to be watching it tonight. So, jump to. Thank you, brother, for hanging with us. We need a Mitch Blood Green movie. Woo! I tell you what, I'm going to be watching it tonight. Thank you for the recommendation, Raphael. We appreciate it, brother. And so while I'm at it, let me play the trailer for the science fiction movie that I recommended. And it's called Satisfaction Guaranteed, guys. Let me see if you can see this real quick. Let me expand this. Hold on. And I will share this with you guys, okay? Hold on. Let me do it on YouTube. It's a lot easier to see on YouTube. Okay. Okay, let me find this real quick, guys. Okay, it's almost up, guys. Thank you for hanging with me. So this is the science fiction movie with Aubrey Plaza, Mark Duplass that I originally recommended, and it is fantastic, guys. Let me see what you think. Here's the trailer. Let me share this with you guys. There it is. Let me know when you guys can see it. Okay, here it is. Safety Not Guaranteed from 2012.
Writers, does anybody have an idea for a story?
How about this time travel ad? Guy writes a classified that reads, "Wanted, someone to go back in time with me. This is not a joke. You'll get paid after we get back. Must bring your own weapons. Safety not guaranteed. I've only done this once before." I want to find this guy. See if maybe he believes in this stuff. I don't know. I think it could be funny.
You want to do it?
Can I get a couple of interns? Help me with
I'll
the
do it.
research?
Me, too, please. Me.
All right, give me the lesbian and the Indian, and I got a story. What'd you get?
Got his name, where he works. What makes you think he won't slam the door in my face, too?
Probably none of the other people were beautiful girls. Easier now.
Do you sell guns here? Something sexy and affordable with killing power?
Is there a pest
Well,
problem?
if your ad had been written properly, I may have a better idea of what I need. I hope you worked harder on your calibrations.
My calibrations are flipping pinpoint, okay? You ever face certain death?
If it was so certain, I wouldn't be here, would I?
I think you're ready for the next steps in basic training.
I think I'm getting better than you.
Now, let's not get ahead of yourself here, okay? I'm certain I'm being recorded. I'm certain I'm being followed.
What's wrong with this guy?
What makes you think there's something wrong with him?
Because he thinks he can go back in time.
What are you going back for?
The mission has to do with regret, mistakes. No matter how tempting it will be, we're never, ever going to say, hey, leave your Star Wars figurines in the box because they'll be worth like hundreds more.
So, Kenneth, why are you looking for a partner?
The world is mostly full of jank holes.
Take these creepy glasses off and put these on you. That dude right there crushes chicks.
I believe that there are purists out there, and that's why I put that ad in the paper. I think you're ready. I trust you.
You should. There are people following him. There are really people following him.
This is intense.
Going 15 miles an hour.
You come to that launch site, you take my hand, and I'll show you who can't time travel.
What's your story about? I don't know anymore, actually.
It's my hope that if you're watching this video, something incredible has happened.
So that's it, guys. One of my favorite movies over the past 25 years in the genre of science fiction. It is absolutely outstanding. But guys, tonight it looks like I've got some homework. I'm going to be watching that boxer movie, and we're going to go live tomorrow and talk all about it, okay? Thank you for the recommendation, guys. And I tell you what, Aubrey Plaza, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. She is a very how do I put it? She's kind of a quirky, but attractive, lovely woman. And she is a really funny comedic actress. So the movie Featherweight looks good too, and it's the Willie Pep story. Adam Lopez, welcome to the show, sir. I tell you what, if you have time, Adam, we haven't gotten your take on anything regarding what transpired this past. Okay, Adam, that's. Why don't you click the link and talk about it with me, brother? Is that the allure with Aubrey Plaza? Is that really it? Oh, guys, and speak, and it shall happen. My brother, Montequilla, Adam Lopez, welcome, sir. It's good to see you, friend.
What's going on, guys? Okay, so my whole thing is she has the appeal because she has the look of somebody that you can actually get. That's like the whole thing with like Haktua. That's why she's so popular. She's kind of charming, and then also she looks like somebody that you can get. See, like you can obtain her. She doesn't look like, if I saw her on the street, like there's no way I can get this chick. But when you look,
you just went out, my friend. You just went out.
Okay,
no, keep going. It says so if you, and then you cut out. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, she looks like somebody you could get. That's like the whole appeal to Aubrey Plaza. Same thing with Hawk too.
Oh, Chingao. Mateo goes spot on, Adam. Gives us nerds hope.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, brother, I tell you what, she does look a lot like my ex, Margie. Oh, Chingao. Yeah, she tried to kill me, and I still love her. Chingao.
Yep. The toxic relationships are the ones that last longer.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
The toxic relationships are the ones that you long for.
No, I pretty much long for all of them, brother.
I don't know, though. I feel like the ones that are like the ones that are the worst for you are always the ones that get like you always feel like remorse that they got away. You're like, God damn it, I fucking love feeling abused. That's it. That's what you want.
Well, look, brother. If I weren't abused, I wouldn't be in any relationship at all. So there it is. Danny Drew, welcome to the show, sir. And he says, Joe, you need to quit smoking. I had a stroke on January 31st. My goodness, I'm so sorry, my friend. We'll be praying for you. Had a stent put in my head. And you know what, brother? I promise you, just like I quit drinking, after this pack, by the grace of God and with his strength, I will quit smoking as well. These will be my last 2 cigarettes that I will ever have in my life. Thank you, Danny Drew, for evangelizing. Because once again, the Lord works through all of us, right? We all have the Holy Spirit within us, and the Lord is capable and does indeed work through all of us. And I can tell you right now, because of what I've been thinking and what I've been feeling lately, Danny Drew is in fact evangelizing through him, or he is evangelizing through my brother Danny Drew. So yeah, I will quit. This is it. These are the last 2 cigarettes I will indeed smoke while I'm on the air tonight. And I will start doing the show then inside in my studio. There'll be no need to come outside and do the show any longer. So thank you, Danny Drew. God bless you, my friend. And thank you for the kind words. And our prayers and thoughts go out to you and your family. Alberto says, aren't cigarettes super expensive too? I think a pack is like $8. So there's also a good, well, look, everything is expensive, or haven't you noticed, Alberto? And that's the reason why we're all going to vote for Donald Trump. Dude, and I'm sorry, I'm putting it out there. Adam, aren't you voting for Donald?
Yep, you know I did.
Of course you are, man. You
Yep,
you've been conservative ever since I met you, so yeah.
Yes.
And there it is. Alberto gives a big thumbs up also. There it is. There it is. But look, before we actually move forward, right? I want to get your take on these fact or fictions. I did this with J.R. Bell earlier.
Okay.
But since there are more people in the chat now, and we want to get your take on all of this as well. Let's do.
Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for fact or fiction.
Here we go, brother. Number 1, Boots will again struggle with Karen Chewbacca after Donald Trump is elected as our next president. Fact or fiction, sir?
Who the fuck is Karen Chewbacca?
Karen Chikatsian. That's who Boots Ennis is fighting.
He's gonna fight him again?
He's gonna fight him again. Yep.
No, I mean, didn't he get him out? Didn't he get him out of the?
No, it was a decision. Because he's the IBF mandatory challenger, he's forced to fight him again. Thank you, IBF.
I guess he has to if he's IBF and he wants to keep the strap. So yeah, then I guess it's gonna happen. I mean, it's something that no one wants, but it's a way that Eddie gets out. Eddie says, "Okay, well, you got to fight somebody. I'm giving you this fight. It's a mandatory that you have to keep for your belt. So, do you want the fight?"
You're out again, Adam. In my opinion, brother. In my opinion. Now, are you back now?
Yeah, I don't know why this thing. I got to get the StreamYard app because this thing keeps kicking me out. So I'll be talking, and then my screensaver will go on, and then it fucks me up. And
no, you're good. You're good, man. We can hear you now, brother. Just keep on pressing it occasionally, like every couple seconds.
That's what I'm keep doing. Yeah, but I'm saying, I guess what it does is, I guess IBF, you have to fight if you want to keep your belt because they're so strict about their mandatories. So he has to fight. Eddie has to give him another fight, and Eddie can't get the guys that he wants, so he's gonna it's gonna kill two birds with one stone. Eddie's gonna be like, yeah, okay, here's a fight for you. You're gonna have to fight this guy again, but you're gonna have to fight him anyways if you want to keep your belt. So are you gonna take it or not? And then he's gonna be like, yeah, okay. He's gonna have to take it.
Well, you know what? Either that or ditch the title and move up to 54 where the real money is, Adam. He should have done that the entire time. There's no money at 47 unless he wants to fight Ryan Garcia.
That's so sad that there's no money at 147, which used to be the greatest weight for the greatest money weight, and for a while was 147. That was the best weight for historically. Historically, 147 was the greatest boxing weight, the best fight.
Well, outside of heavyweight, yeah,
147.
So that was the boxing's second glamour division, and now it's boxing's second no money division. Yeah. It's terrible. It's terrible, guys. It's only second to 160 pounds currently.
The guy with the Russian dude that knocked out Tim Tszyu, was that for a belt?
Yes, Bakram Murtazaliev. It was for the IBF title.
Oh my god, dude. That guy looks scary. I mean, I don't know if it was because Tim Tszyu looked shot or that guy was that good. So I don't know. But that guy's power looked like, oh my god, dude, this guy's just touching him. It looks so bad. Like it looked like Tim Tszyu got knocked out previously for him to just keep getting touched and just go out every time. Like he got knocked out in training camp or some shit.
So here it is. Here's the big question. I sprung this on Rick Glazer as well. Okay. Who is more shot and is going to have the harder time coming back, Chris Colbert or Tim Tszyu?
Oh, damn, that's a really good question. They're both equally shot. I mean, I think Chris Colbert's equal is probably a little bit more shot than Tim Tszyu, just based on level of competition he lost to. The other guy the guy that Chris Colbert lost to is probably pretty good, but he isn't as good as the Russian guy. The Russian guy is very good. You can see that. Yeah, I think Chris Colbert's a little bit more shot, but I mean, Tim Tszyu is not far behind.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. I agree 100%, brother. And look, your thoughts on can Tim Tszyu actually come back and
No.
become an attraction in Australia? No?
No.
Yeah, I don't see it either, brother.
He's done. If he got touched like that and he was going out, his chin is just gone, and I think the lure of him being a killer is gone too. Like the mystique of that's gone. You just saw him get beat up by Fandora, go through a war with Fandora. A lot of him got taken out of that, and then this Russian goes and finishes him off like that. The lure of him being a killer is gone. The Virgil fight, Virgil destroys him in in 4 rounds, maybe less than that. Because,
I would say probably less.
Yeah.
That sneaky, quick right hand.
That's why.
That's
why this whole seasoning fights and fucking marinating fights. That's some dumb shit because we never got that fight. We never got.
You're out again, brother.
Yeah,
go ahead.
My fucking screensaver.
No, that's all right. Keep going, brother.
The marinating fights is so stupid because we never got that fight now. That fight we should have gotten a long time ago with Turkey. That fight should have happened, and now it didn't happen, and now we'll never get to see it because we already know what's gonna happen. Fucking Virgil is gonna destroy Tim Tszyu.
Yep, there it is. So let's go to another one, brother. I'm gonna play this once again.
Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for fact or fiction.
Danny Drew.
So here it is. Sorry, Canelo fans. Alvarez will not face Arthur Beterbiev on Cinco de Mayo 2025 and will add the current undisputed champ at 175 pounds to his ever-growing list of avoided fighters. Fact or fiction?
Yeah, he's not gonna fight. He's not gonna fight Better Beef. He's not gonna fight him.
I don't know why these Canelo fans think that shit.
No, and the whole thing is it's gonna add to his list of ever going avoided fighters. It's like 2 guys maybe that he hasn't fought. I mean, Canelo he does have the best resume in boxing, but I mean, like, you're biting. You just stop. Like, okay, you can't beat them all. Just don't fight Better Beef. You don't need to fight him. We're not asking for that fight. He doesn't.
We already know that. No one is asking for that fight. This is just an answer, basically, to Canelo fans who insist that Canelo can beat Arthur Beterbiev.
Yeah, no, he can't, dude. Like, he's biting off too much more than he can chew. Yeah, dude.
Too big, too strong, too aggressive, punches too much. Yeah.
Too hard. The guy gets it to heavyweight when he gets in the ring.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, no, dude, stop. You don't need.
Yeah, no one wants to see Canelo go out like that, guys. No one. That would be bad for the health of the sport. All right, number 3, my friend. Bob Arum, fact or fiction, Adam? Bob Arum will have as much luck rebuilding Jared Anderson as No Limits will have with Tim Tszyu.
Yeah, both are shot. There's no use in rebuilding any of them. Like Jared Anderson's a problem outside the ring too. And then this is what happened with McCauley. Martin McCauley is a fucking great fighter, dude. Martin McCauley was phenomenal that night. He looked like a world beater. I don't know what he does against the other top heavyweights, but he does fucking damn good, dude. I mean, Fury's on his way out. Fury's gonna retire soon. You kind of already see the writing on the wall.
Yep.
And then Usyk is he's dominant right now. That would be a good fight with McCauley, but McCauley might be just too fucking big. But he looks great.
Look, Usyk is older than Fury.
Really? Yeah. So he might be on the way out too. I mean, it's gonna get. We're gonna see like a whole generation of guys leave. It's gonna kind of be sad at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you
It
ever see
usually
those?
is in boxing.
Yeah, you ever see those memes of like, the NFL memes where like they go, my whole childhood is gone. Brady's gone. Breeze is gone. Manning's gone. Um, fucking Andrew Luck is gone. Like a whole generation of guys from like 2000 are gone now, and now we're all seeing new quarterbacks, and the game's changed. It's like that now. Like a bunch of fighters that we've seen grow up, like this 2012, that Olympic class is now on its way out the door, which is kind of sad because it's only been what? Well, it's been 12 years, and the lifespan of a prize fighter isn't that really that long, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, it's all contingent on what style you adopt in the ring, right?
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
fight like Tim Tszyu, well, you're gonna have a short but glorious career. In the immortal words of Eddie Fudge. That's it, guys. That's it. And last but not least, my friend, fact or fiction, Adam. While
Okay.
vacationing in Mexico, Edgar Berlanga was seen handing out money to fans on the beach, further cementing his fate as Puerto Rico's equivalent to Adrian Broner. Fact or fiction?
Fiction. I think Berlanga's not that stupid. I think it was just like a moment. Like he wanted a fucking viral moment, but I don't think he's really spending money like that. I don't
I
think.
hope not.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because I would have heard a lot more. This is the first time I've heard that he was handing out $100 bills or he was handing out money to people in Mexico. It's like, yeah, no, I don't think it. I don't think it's because Adrian Broner was fighting fucking McDonald workers. So I mean, that's really bad.
No,
And
do you
that's
remember when he was making a shit ton of money? He was
was burning
actually lighting $100 bills on fire and throwing them in the toilet.
Yeah. So I mean, and that was really bad. That's viral moments. I don't think giving out like a couple bucks and to people in Mexico is that bad, to be honest. And so
Yeah.
he's probably just doing it for internet clout and shit like that. But I don't think he's making that bad a decision. He shouldn't be, at least.
I will still never understand that as long as I live.
You gotta stay away from the jewelry. Dude, jewelry is like the worst thing you could buy. And people fucking just buy it. It's like, bro, don't stop.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's just,
I
it's
think
just,
I think
it's,
that's fiction.
well, I tell you what, brother, I wish you had come on sooner because we've already been on now for an hour and 40 minutes. And yours truly has a lot of work to do for the upcoming event, November 23rd.
All
I'll tell
right.
you what. So wait a minute. Are you going to be there, Adam?
Where's that?
At the Shrine Auditorium.
Oh, is this Rick's card?
It's going to be Nunez's card. Yes.
Yeah, I'll probably go.
Yeah, you should come and call
Yeah,
some fights with me, brother, that night. It'll be
Yeah,
fun.
I'll do that. Because the last card he had there, phenomenal. That was a great card. That was one of the best cards.
It's one of the best club cards we've ever seen, isn't it?
Yes.
It was outstanding. We had 11 fights on that come to fruition, right?
Yeah, my guy Guillermo, he fought on that card. That was a great card.
That's right. He looked great. And also Paul Hernandez is going to be back, if you can believe that.
Wow, Uvalde, Paul Hernandez. Nice.
Yep. Shocking that we were able to get him back like that, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, he needs to fight, and he needs to fight, get that I guess that ring rust off, get that that taste out of his mouth, and he needs to fight again. And he's a ticket seller, so it's a win-win for both of us.
And there it is. There it is. I tell you what, Adam, your parting shots for our listening audience. And hey, how's your new route? Can we go live tomorrow afternoon, brother?
Dude, no. My new route. my new route. So I was at 1108 for the longest time for a year. They put me right by my house, 2539. And then now I got a new route, 1462, past 410, past 410 South. But I'm doing Roosevelt. And oh my God, it is the worst route ever. I'm thinking about quitting that route. I have that route for 3 weeks, but Jesus Christ, dude, it is the It is the shittiest route ever. Like you go up and down Roosevelt, Roosevelt and Mission, and you're just kind of lost. I'm like looking up addresses because the route really doesn't make that much sense, like logistically and the way that it's run. And I'm kind of struggling with this fucking route, dude. And it's annoying. I don't like it at all.
I tell you what, you went out again, brother. Well, I tell you what, Adam, let me know when we can do another matinee edition of War Week Boxing during the day. I miss that stuff. Yeah, man, guys, we've been on for already an hour and 40 minutes. And yes, Danny Drew, he is a retired prize fighter turned U.S. Postal Service mailman. Yeah. And there it is. And which one's the tougher occupation, Adam? Dude, we can't hear you again.
Yeah, prize fighting is way more harder. Is a lot harder. But mailman is consistently just a pain in the ass.
Oh, Chingao, very well said, my friend. Very well said. Guys, on behalf of the incomparable Adam Lopez, well, hold on, let me get this. Thank you, Danny Drew, for hanging with us, my friend. You have a wonderful evening, and thank you for the sage words of advice. And we will keep you in our prayers, my friend. God bless you, brother, and God bless all of you guys. Don't forget to vote, guys. Early voting is preferred. Don't forget to vote. God bless all of you guys. On behalf of the incomparable Adam Montequillo Lopez, I'm Joseph Herron. You've been listening to War Week Boxing. Have a great evening, everybody.
Rashawn Holdings proudly presents War Week Radio Chats with ring announcer Joseph Herron